Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you do not know you have. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music in the background, and anything else in the, potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and you viewer are you. Today is Saturn's Day, aka Saturday, September 9th, 2023. Well, I almost fumbled there. Anyway, let's start with the history today, shall we? Starting us off in the year 701, we have Saint Sergius I's reign as Catholic Pope ended. Alright. And then in the year 1000, we have the Battle of Svolder in the Baltic Sea. King Olaf on board the Long Serpent was defeated in one of the greatest naval battles of the Viking Age. He leapt to his death overboard. Wow. Well, sometimes, you get a little too caught in the moment and you jump off a ship. So, anyway, 1379, we have the Treaty of Neuburg, splitting the Austrian Habsburg lands between the Habsburg Dukes Albert III and Leopold III. Alright. We also have the Battle of Kobra Field in 1493. It was a decisive defeat of Croats in Croatian struggle against the Ottoman Empire invasion. RIP. 1513, we have the Battle of Flodden. A lot of battles today. English forces defeated the Scots near Branston in Northumberland and killed King James IV of Scotland. He was the last monarch in Great Britain to be killed in battle. And see, once again, if you're leading people to their deaths, in the very least, you can go up and, fight with them, side by side. That's only fair. 1543, Mary Stuart, at the age of 9 months, was crowned Queen of Scots in the central Scottish town of Stirling, only to be later executed by her cousin or her sister, whoever was Queen of England. Just, absolutely horrible. Mary really got reamed there. As far as I'm aware, I still have yet to see that movie. It's rather boring, to be honest, but I gotta watch that movie. Anyway, 1553, the Roman Inquisition burnt all copies of the Talmud and other Jewish texts in Rome's Campo di Fiori. Alright. And if anybody knows anything about, Roman history, yeah. Anyway, 1556, Pope Paul IV refused to crown Ferdinand I of Austria Holy Roman Emperor. Well, I think this was the one with the Emperor and the Pope having a feud. It's like, wait a minute, you can't tell me what to do, I'm the Pope. Wait a minute, you can't tell me what to do, I'm the Emperor. Who controls whom, if possible? They are both kind of in their own, respective ways equal. One was the church and one was the state. And we also have 1567, Dutch leaders Lamaral, Count of Egmont, and Philip van Horn were arrested by Spanish Duke of Alba. Their execution in 1568 led to the 80 Years' War. That's pretty significant. I don't know why that's not highlighted. A lot of things that need to be highlighted are not, and a lot of things that don't need to be highlighted are. OnThisDay.com really needs to work on their priorities here. Anyway, 3 more years later, 1570, Cyprian city of Nicosia fell to the Ottomans. Afterwards, an estimated 20,000 citizens were massacred, and the rest were sold into slavery. Yep. And those were white people. Let's not forget that. Those were white people sold into slavery. 1675, New England colonies declared war on Wampanoag Indians. That's not good. 1683, expelled Polish and Lotharings reached Wienerwald. Wienerwald. Welding wieners. Why would you do that to a hot dog? That's weird. 1739, Stono Slave Rebellion, South Carolina. 60 slaves killed about 20 white people before being killed or later executed. This was the largest slave uprising in British mainland colonies before the American Revolution. Dang. 1753, the first steam engine arrived in the North American colonies. Alright, steam engine. 1767, Colegio de San Ignacio de Loyola Vizcaínas, the oldest continuously operating educational institution in Mexico, opened for the education of girls and women in Mexico City. Alright. 1776, Congress officially renamed the country as the United States of America from the United Colonies. Okay, so we were called the United States in 76. Well, that would make sense. We were United States. We were United Colonies. So, that's a little interesting thing of U.S. history that I didn't know. 1817, Alexander Twilight, probably the first black U.S. citizen to graduate from a U.S. college, receives a BA degree at Middlebury College. BA was bachelor's, or badass degree. I don't know. Let's see here. BA degree, a BS degree, a bullshit degree. Oh, Bachelor of Arts. Okay. Pardon me. So I guess BS is Bachelor of Sciences. BS degree. Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. 1830, Charles Durant, the first U.S. aeronaut, flew a balloon from Castle Garden, New York City to Perth Amboy, New Jersey, a distance of about 25 miles, covered in 3 hours. Pretty cool. 1836. Pardon me. 1836, Ralph Waldo Emerson published his influential essay "Nature" in the U.S., outlining his beliefs in transcendentalism. So, if anybody does not know what that is, and I'm somewhat familiar, there we go. I need a new mouse, or I need to increase. It is an idealistic, philosophical, and social movement which developed in New England around 1836. There we go. In reaction to rationalism, influenced by Romanticism, Platonism, and Kantian philosophy, it taught that divinity pervades all nature and humanity, and its members held progressive views on feminism and communal living. Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau were central figures. And we were talking about Ralph Waldo Emerson right here. So, is there a wiki? Yes, there is. Alright, so for further reading on transcendentalism, please refer to the underbar in the description below. Link to this wiki will be there after this live stream, of course, as per usual. We got to move on up to 1839. English scientist and astronomer John Herschel took the first glass plate photograph. Alright. 1841, Great Lakes steamer Erie sunk off Silver Creek, New York, killed 300. There goes Leonidas with his brave 300. But nothing to joke about. People actually died, so rest in peace. 1841 as well, Tom Hyer defeated George Manchester in 101 rounds at Caldwell's Landing, New York, to become the first U.S. heavyweight boxing champion. 101 rounds. Jesus. So, hold on a second. How long was a boxing round in 1841? Because it could have been just, bare knuckle boxing. Well, how many rounds in boxing? There are no limit of rounds. 3.5 hours. That's 1833. Yeah, so this is a different one. But this is still long. 101 rounds, that's a lot of rounds. We also have in 1850, California was admitted as the 31st U.S. state, or State of the Union. Hooray, California! Wait, no, not good. As a Californian, I don't know which side of the coin I want to be on, because I both hate California, but I live here. So, 1850 as well, territories of New Mexico and Utah were created. Alright. So that happened on the same day as California. 1861, Nurse Sally Tompkins was officially commissioned as an officer, and its only woman officer, by the Confederate U.S. Army. But no, it wasn't the U.S., it was the CS. So the Confederate Army. Confederate U.S. Army, what? That, those two don't belong in the same meaning. 1862, Robert E. Lee split his army and sent Jackson to capture Harper's Ferry. Alright. 1867, Luxembourg gained its independence. Alright! Luxembourg! Here we go. Woo! 1875, Lotta's Fountain, corner of Kearny and Market, were dedicated in San Francisco. Alright. Lotta's Fountain. Let's see here. Lotta's Fountain. Images. Oh, okay, this one. I'm not sure if I've seen that. I've been in San Francisco twice in my life. I'm not sure if I've seen that. It looks... It's very San Francisco. I don't know. San Fran has its own style. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my rear end. 1886, the Berne Convention for the Protection of Literary and Artistic Works was finalized. So the Bern Convention. Let's see here. Copy that. Paste that. I'm going to try to find a wiki here. Ooh, Bern Convention. The Bern Convention for the Protection of Literary and Artistic Works, usually known as the Bern Convention, was an international assembly held in 1886 in the Swiss city of Bern by 10 European countries, with the goal to agree on a set of legal principles for the protection of original work. So it sounds like copyright and whatnot, somewhat, a little bit, I'm not sure. But yeah, the wiki will be down in the underbar of the description below. We're going to move on up to 1888. Easter Island / Rapa Nui in the Pacific was annexed by Chile. Yep, the Moai. We also have 1892. Edward Emerson Barnard at Lick Observatory discovered Amalthea, Jupiter's fifth moon. All right. 1892 as well. Manifesto of the Queensland Labour Party to the people of Queensland was issued, detailing grievances of working class towards ruling class. Pivotal document in Australian labour and political history. That should be highlighted, and that is extremely relevant to today's world. 1895, the American Bowling Congress formed in New York City. 1898, Ottawa Football Club reorganizes into the Rough Riders. Alright, bunch of teddy chasers there. 1899, French captain Alfred Dreyfus sentenced on unjust grounds. And yeah, the Dreyfus Affair. Let's look that up here really quick. Dreyfus Affair. It had something to do with him being a Jew or something, not entirely sure. But yeah, he was kind of getting like reamed for years. This lasted for I think 12 years. Dreyfus Affair. Yeah, 1894 to 1906 lasted for 12 years. Like holy crap, dude. So here's a wiki if you'd like to expand your intellectual horizons with this particular event in history. Let's see here. We also have 1903. 6-kilometer long Engadin Railroad Tunnel in Switzerland was inaugurated. That seems kind of long. I'm not really sure how long what the heck is a kilometer, as a soundboard I used to have. 1904, Boston Herald again refers to New York Baseball Club as Yankees when it reports Yankees Take Two. Yankee name was not official until 1913. So they were calling them the Yankees well before they actually accepted the name, I guess, through peer pressure. I'm not sure. That makes me wonder, like, if they weren't, like, called that before they actually started calling themselves that, what would they be called? You know? 1904, mounted police first appeared in New York City. Alright. 1908, Orville Wright made the first 1-hour airplane flight in Fort Myer, Virginia. 1908 as well, Russia annexed part of Poland. Ooh. 1909, China's Metropolitan Library was established by the Qing Dynasty in Beijing Guanaguha Temple, which is now the National Library of China. Which I saw a video about great museums and such, and there's a really big one in Beijing as well. Museum, that is. 1 year later, 1912, French aviator Jules Vidrines was the first to fly over 100 miles per hour. Specifically flying at 107 miles per hour or 172 kilometers per hour. 1913, Russian pilot Pyotr Nesterov became the first pilot to fly a loop, doing so in his Newport 4th monoplane. He is arrested for 10 days for endangering government property. Oh my god. He performed a loop and he was arrested. Wow. Wow. Endangering government property. Oh, I wanted images, not that. So, you know what? I'll just post it in here. So in this one, and 1913, a monoplane. That's revolutionary. So, pardon me. Like, I'm just like looking at this beautiful bird. So he performed a loop in that thing. That must have been scary. You know, and I wonder if they had a seatbelt. I'm not sure. Like, you know, in that cockpit. Must have. That can only make sense. What else do we got here? 1914, Boston Brave George Davis no-hits Philadelphia Phillies 7-0. Yow. While that was going on, we have the first fully mechanized unit in the British Army was created, the Canadian Automobile Machine Gun Brigade. That will be used in World War I. Alright, so Canada, you're the first one in all the British lands. You, of all people, you peace-loving, like, hockey maple syrup moose people. I mean, y'all are crazy. Like I've heard about what you guys have done in wars, and the U.S. has fought you once, and we lost. So, yeah, I know history. We also have in 1914 as well, meeting held at Gaelic League headquarters between Irish Republican Brotherhood and other extreme Republicans. Initial decision was made to stage an uprising while Britain was at war. Yikes. 1 year later, 1915, Association for the Study of Black Life and History formed in Chicago by Carter G. Woodson and others, which is now the Association for the Study of Black U.S. Citizen Life and History. Alright. And once again, this is incredibly inaccurate. African American does not dictate what skin color you are because Elon Musk is an African American and he's whiter than me. And I don't go outside. So, 1919, Boston's police force went on strike. And while that was going on, hydrofoil was designed by Alexander Graham Bell, his wife Mabel Bell, and F.W. Casey Baldwin set new water speed record of 114 km an hour on Brostior, Nova Scotia. Alright. And give me a minute, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry about that. 1921, Guatemala, Honduras, and San Salvador agreed to Central American Union. 1922, St. Louis Brown baby doll Jacobson hit 3 triples, defeating Tigers 16-0. Yikes. And I kind of just like steamrolled over this. That's pretty cool. Central American Union. Yeah, well, you know, you gotta work together. 1922 as well, Turkish troops conquered Smyrna and murdered Greek citizens. Yikes. 1926, we have the National Broadcasting Company, NBC, was created by Radio Corporation of America. Okay. 1932, Spanish courts granted Catalonia autonomy. I need to catch up over here. Go Catalonia! Woo! Where's my cheer button? So, let's see, what else do we have here? 1932 as well, a steamboat Essep's Observation exploded in New York City, East River, with 71 kills. Well, that would have been a rather spectacle observation right there. Lived up to its name and went out with a bang. But rest in peace to the 71 that died. 4 years later, 1936, New York Yankees defeated Cleveland Indians 12-9 at League Park to clinch American League pennant on the earliest date in history. Dang. 3 years later, the Nazi army reached Warsaw. Yikes. And 1 year later after that, in 1940, 28 German aircraft were shot down above England. Yep, the Battle of Britain. 1942, we have the first bombing on continental U.S. soil at Mount Emily, Oregon, during World War II by Japanese planes. Now that is, Mount Emily. Like, Japanese planes bombed it? I know that we got hit by those balloon bombs, a couple of them. And a mother and her daughter died. That, as far as I'm aware, that's the only casualties. But, you know what? Let me look into this. I think I remember hearing something about this a while ago. Japanese pilot Nobu Fujita catapulted from the I-25, so must have been a submarine, near the coast of southern Oregon aboard a seaplane and headed east towards Mount Emily. Bombs fall in Oregon. All right, well, here we go. So, well, here's, I'm going to post this link, and then there you go. All right. Now, I remember hearing something about that, so it's not too outlandish. We're going to move on up to 1942 as well. Compulsory work for women, children, and old males in Batavia. All right. 365 days later, 1943, 15 German Ju-88 sink Italian flagship Rome. That's, those are aircrafts, right? At first I thought they were like a bunch of boats or something. Yeah, a bunch of bombers, actually. So they just bombed it. 1943 as well, U.S., British, and French troops landed in Salerno, part of Operation Avalanche. And Salerno is in Sicily, I believe. Operation Avalanche, the initial invasion of Italy via Sicily. That's a movie. Operation Avalanche, 1943. Here, yep, there we go. Allied invasion of Italy. I'm going to add this link in the underbar of the description below, if anybody wants to know more about that. What else do we have here? 1944, Allied forces liberate Luxembourg. Hey, Luxembourg, we're talking about you again. 1945, the first bug in a computer program was discovered by Grace Hopper. A moth was removed with tweezers from a relay and taped into the log. So, yeah, an actual, like, that's why we call it a bug. Like, you know, the glitch. It's a literal insect inside of a computer. Which still happens. I've seen plenty of pictures and such of various creatures, from cats to hamsters to spiders, inside computers. So, we also have 1945 as well. Japanese and South Korea, Taiwan, China, Indochina surrendered to the Allies. Yeah, well, that was a while after the end of the war. But yeah, it took until what, 75, like before like the last guy was convinced the war was over. 1949, Pacific Airlines flight exploded en route to Baikonur, killing 23 people. A passenger's husband, Albert Guai, later sentenced and hanged, along with 2 others for first bombing of a Canadian plane. Whoa. So he bombed the plane. That's not cool. We also have 1950, the first use of TV laugh track by the Hank McCune Show in the U.S. Pardon me, I almost threw up because the laugh track is so overused. 1950 as well, mass arrest of communists in France. Alright, go French, doing something right. 1951 as well, first broadcast of soap opera Love of Life on CBS TV. 1954, earthquake struck Orlandsville, which is now Chlef in Algeria. 1,250 people were killed, with many aftershocks. That's sad. 1954 as well, the Indians became the first Cleveland team to win 100 games in a season. Nice. 1955, Don Simmer hit 4,000th Dodger home run. Alright. 1956, Elvis Presley appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show for the first time. 1957, Nashville's new Haiti Cotton Elementary School was dynamited. What? What? Wait, what? What does that mean? Dynamited? Like, hold on, let's look this up. It was a bombing. Okay, well, yikes. Who's dynamiting schools out there? Some guy, apparently. So, yeah, of course, I have the link to the wiki is in the underbar description below. Let's see if I have any comments here. No, I do not. Do I? No, I don't. Okay. We also have 1957 as well. U.S. President Eisenhower signed the first civil rights bill since Reconstruction. 1960, the Denver Broncos defeated the Boston Patriots 13-10 in the American Football League's first game before 21,597 fans at Nickerson Field in Boston. All right. 3 years later, 1967, Alabama Governor George Wallace served a federal injunction to stop orders of state police to bar black students from enrolling in white schools. Yeah, this guy was a piece of shit. So, he even looks, his face looks so punchable. Don't you want to just mush it, you know? Like, God. Segregationalist. What a... God. 1964, German DR government, I guess Democratic Republic, allowed short visits to West Germany. Alright. 1965, the LA Dodgers future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Sandy Koufax threw his 4th career no-hitter and first perfect game in a 1-0 win over the Chicago Cubs at Dodger Stadium. Koufax. 1965 as well, Tibet was made an autonomous region in China. And this is how it begins, the end. And free Tibet! 1966, the National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act was signed into law by U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson. So is that like what made seatbelts mandatory and whatnot? Like, let's see here. That sounds about right. It required automobile manufacturers to institute safety standards to protect the public from unreasonable risk of accidents occurring as a result of the design, construction, or operation of automobiles. So here's the Britannia link, and I'm going to have this one. Yeah, so I believe this is when seatbelts came into mandates, which I wholeheartedly agree. You know, like seatbelts are a thing. Death. I just clicked death. Oh, whoops. 1967, we have the first successful test flight of a Saturn V, and that is the rocket that took us to the moon. 1967 as well, Uganda declared independence from Great Britain. Uganda! Uganda is independent. Nice. 1969 as well. The Official Languages Act came into force in Canada, making English and French the country's official languages, replaced later on, 1988, by the new Official Languages Act. So, Official Languages Act 1988, let's look this up here. 1988. Reflects Section 20 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, in which the delivery of services in both official languages is based on the concepts of head or central offices, significant demand, and nature of the office. Alright, so I'm going to at least have this one here in the underbar. Right. Yeah, so if that you can have more than one official language. So why can't the U.S. have English, Spanish, in the top 5? Why can't we have the top 5 official languages? Like, there's this one town down in, I believe, New Mexico, that because the U.S. does not have an official language, its official language is Spanish. Now I get it, all this used to be Mexico. Well, all of this used to be native land, and all of that used to be land to other tribes, and things change. Nothing lasts forever. So right now it's the U.S. We predominantly speak English. Doing that is an invasion, technique. Like, it's subversion, of a government. So something needs to be done. We need to have an official language, not one, but like, let's just say top 5. Let's be friendly, like English, Spanish, French, German, and Chinese, or Russian. I don't know. Like, we need something. Anyway, we got to move on up here. 1970, Bowie Kuhn was suspended. Danny McLean for carrying a gun. Oh, okay. Why did he carry it onto the field? What's going on? Like, just the fact that he owned a gun? What's going on here? Carried a gun on a team flight in August, so he was declared ineligible for the rest of the season. So he brought a gun with him. Yeah, that's not intelligent. Like, I would say he's within his rights, but at the same time, you guys have security and whatnot. You should not feel the need to be packing heat yourself if you're part of a team like that. Anyway, 1971, 1,000 convicts rioted and seized Attica, New York prison. Yikes. 1971 as well, Apple Records released John Lennon's second solo studio album, Imagine, in the U.S. It topped the chart in U.S., UK, Australia, and 3 other countries. But what are those 3 other countries? Oh, whatever. Who cares about them? No, seriously, if anybody can go down that mini rabbit hole, tell me in the comment section. That'd be great. 1971 as well, the NHL great Gordie Howe retired for the first time after 25 seasons with the Detroit Red Wings. 365 days later, 1972, connection found between Mammoth Cave Ridge and Flint Cave systems in Kentucky, joining 144 miles of passages, making it the world's longest known cave system, later mapped at 420 miles. Hey! That's not a place to be stoned. We also have Soviet Union defeated the United States 51-50 in the most controversial game in international basketball history, with the U.S. leading 50-49. The final 3 seconds was replayed 3 times until the Soviets finally won. Wow. Yeah, that's unfair. We should have won. 1973, 4th place finish in the Italian Grand Prix at Monza was enough to clinch Jackie Stewart his 3rd Formula One World Drivers' Championship. Cool. It's that guy. He has a woo look. Like he's going fast. He's in his driver's, goggles and hat and polo shirt, with his long hair. Let's have, let's see here, 1976, New Zealand government established the country's first centralized electronic database through the Waganai Computer Act, raising questions about the state's ability to gather information on its citizens. Yikes. 1 year later, 1977, Tiger rookies Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell debuted together and will play together for 19 years. That is awesome. That is really awesome. 1979, British film The Bitch, starring Joan Collins, the sequel to The Stud, both based on novels by her sister Jackie Collins, premiered in the UK. Alright. Where is that? 1979? Yeah, right here. 1979 as well, South African Ferrari driver Jody Scheckter won the Italian Grand Prix at Monza to clinch his first Formula One World Drivers' Championship, first RSA champion. Okay. 1982, Konostoga 1, the first private commercial rocket, made suborbital flight. And that's 82. That should be highlighted. That's pretty big. 1983, Radio Shack announced their color computer 2, Coco 2. Let's see what the Coco 2 looked like. Coco 2, 1983. 1983. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. I guess, Alright. What else do we have here? 1983 as well. Vitus Giralitis defeated his house that, betted his house that Martina Navratilova cannot defeated 100th ranked male tennis player. Well, I'm pretty sure he ate his hat on that one. So, I'm just going to do a quick look just to see. Martina said a couple of years ago she could beat Harold Solomon. Juratus added, I'd put up 2 houses to see that. Okay. Well, I don't know what the outcome was. I'm not going to look right now because, you know, we are broadcasting. So if anybody would so be caring to let us know in the comments section. Do I have any comments yet? No, I do not. All right. Moving on up. What else do we got here? 1985, President Reagan ordered sanctions against South Africa, probably because of apartheid. 1 year later, Minnesota Tommy Kramer passed for 6 touchdowns versus Green Bay, 42-7. Holy cats. That is a drubbing right there. 1986 as well, New York City jury indicted Soviet United Nations employee Gennady Zakharov for spying. Yikes. 1 year later, 1987, we have the largest U.S. Tennis Open single-night session in total, 21,016. I don't know what all that means, but if anybody does, tell us in the comments section. 1987 as well, Larry Bird of the Celtics began NBA free throw streak of 59. Nice. And he looks like a knockoff brand of Bill Clinton. He looks like a third-party Bill Clinton or something. I'm not to be mean towards Larry Bird. I apologize, man. We also have 1987 MLB pitcher Nolan Ryan struck out his 4,500th batter. Yay! Man, the man pitches so fast, even his hat is like, "Let's go!" We also have in 1990 George H.W. Bush and Mikhail Gorbachev met in Helsinki and urged Iraq to leave Kuwait, in which they didn't. And yeah, they fucked around and they found out. 1992, we have the first time Baltimore Orioles drew 3 million fans at home. Alright. So I guess it has to be like a year thing. 1993, Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization exchanged letters of mutual recognition. Probably because Palestine was just forced to do so, because they're just getting reamed by the entire world. Well, I'm not going to go down that conversation. 1995, Broadway Limited, Last Train Ride, began in 1902. Aww. So 93 years of service. That is a really good stretch right there. Moving on up to the next millennium, 2001, Band of Brothers, based on book by Stephen E. Ambrose, created by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, premiered. This was then the most expensive miniseries ever made, and every penny counted. That was a great show. It still is a great show. You know, and I think Alice and I are due to watch it again, because we were actually watching it a while ago. We didn't get through the whole thing, so... While that was going on, at 1:46:40 UTC, the time on the Unix clock in milliseconds passed 1 billion since January 1st, 1970, which Unix systems recognized as 0 time. Wow. So, like, the whole Y2K thing, like, when computers would, like, go from 99 to 00 and reset, thinking it's 1900, cause a whole sort of crash and... planes falling out of the sky, nuclear missiles launching themselves. Like, everybody thought it was going to be Armageddon. And thankfully it wasn't. But, yeah. Anyway, 2001 as well. 2 Al-Qaeda-linked suicide bombers disguised as journalists killed Northern Alliance leader Ahmad Shah Massoud by detonating explosives hidden in a camera and a battery pack belt while interviewing him in Takhar province, northeastern Afghanistan. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. And this guy got killed, so... yeah. That's a cool hat, though. I want that. I've never seen a hat like that. What it looks... It's like a puffy toque. Like a puffy chef's hat type thing. 2002, MLB Arizona Diamondbacks left-handed pitcher Randy Johnson reached 300 strikeouts for the 5th consecutive season, extending his major league record. We now have 2007 Farm Aid 20 was held in Randall Island, New York City. Performers included Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, Merle Haggard, Billy Joe Shaver, Greg Allman, the Allman Brothers Band, Counting Crows, Mataishu, Guster, the Derek Trucks Band, Warren Haynes, and Jimmy Sturr. We also have 2010, a court in the Philippines ordered Imelda Marcos to repay the government almost $280,000 for funds taken from the National Food Authority by Ferdinand Marcos in 1983. Yikes. He was the 10th president of Philippines and a dictator. So. 2012, 100 people were killed and 350 additional were injured after a wave of attacks across Iraq. Yeah. 2015, where'd it go? Apple unveiled the iPad Pro and iPhone 6s in San Fran. Okay, right here. 2015 as well, Queen Elizabeth II became Great Britain's longest reigning monarch at 63 years and 7 months, defeating the previous record set by her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria. But they were both defeated by a Frenchman, King Louis XIV. So, rip. 2016, North Korea conducted its 5th nuclear test at the Punggye-ri nuclear test site. At the time, its largest ever test at 10 kilotons, but superseded by the 2017 test. Alright. Speaking of 2017, Egyptian archaeologists announced the discovery of a 3,500-year-old tomb of a goldsmith and his family in Dra Abu Naga, Egypt. In 2018, Airing Mass Games began, Airing, Massachusetts? Oh, no, Mass. Games began in North Korea to mark country's 70th anniversary, featuring tens of thousands performing. Airing Mass Games. Well, let's look at this. Never heard about that. Obviously, that's not Massachusetts. Oh, okay, whoa. The Grand Mass Gymnastics and Artistic Performance Airing. So, it's a mass gymnastics and artistic festival held in the Rungardo May Day Stadium in Pyongyang, North Korea. Huh. Alright, well, that's terrifying looking. I'm going to add that in the underbar, the description. Post-show, of course. We only have a little bit of history left here. Home stretch, 2018. CBS chief Les Mons departed the company after 6 more women made allegations of sexual abuse, and the New Yorker. More of this Me Too crap, utilizing things. The majority of those women were liars. You know, in any situation, men, women, children, it doesn't matter. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon, and then all of a sudden everything is devalued, and the actual victims just get lost in the ocean. So it's really sad, and you know, my heart goes out to those who were actual victims. But as I said, the majority of the quote-unquote victims were just utilizing something to get back at people that they were scorned by in one way or another. Hell hath no fury than a woman scorned. You know, saying exists for a reason. We also have in 2019, Australia experiences its earliest and most severe start to the fire season after fighting dozens of bushfires in Queensland and New South Wales. Alright. Yeah, and I remember when the freaking, oh, what's it called? Kangaroos. Kangaroos were on fire. That was awful. But a lot of Californian firefighters, you know, went down there and helped. Because if anybody knows about fire, it's California. 2019, John Legend and wife Chrissy Teigen fired back at Donald Trump on social media after he calls them boring and filthy-mouthed in tweets over criminal justice reform. And once again, further proof that this source is extremely leftist. Why is this highlighted? Why is this so important that you need to... Why is it highlighted as music history? Like, what the hell? God, these people, they need to get their heads on straight. 2019 as well, Nigerian government said it will repatriate 600 people from South Africa after 2 people were killed, or repatriate. Oh, we'll repatriate 600 people from South Africa after 2 people were killed in waves of xenophobic violence in Johannesburg. Yeah, Nigeria offering a peace leaf there. While that was going on, Poet John Milton's own copy of Shakespeare's first folio of 1623 had survived with his annotations, according to scholar Jason Scott Warren in Philadelphia Library, could be the world's most important modern literary discovery. Wow. And as I said, like, these things just get rediscovered all the time. Like there's so much stuff in archives that's just lost. Wow, we're stuck in 2019 still. Scientists reveal evidence of humans' earliest milk consumption 6,000 years ago from the dental plaque of teeth of prehistoric farmers from Britain. Alright, so it was the British who had the idea, hey, I'm going to go suck on that thing and see what it does. That can sound so wrong out of context. 2020, Donald Trump purposefully downplayed the pandemic and, propaganda. In early 2020, to avoid panic, according to Bob Woodward's new book, Rage. Well, there's nothing to downplay. It was all garbage. But let's not forget it was him who expedited the vaccine, people. So, let's not forget that. 2020, San Francisco Bay Area blanketed by dark orange skies and smoke due to California wildfires. Yeah, that's just another Tuesday for us. And then 1 year later, 2021, 17 hospital patients die after heavy rainfall and flooding in Tula, central Mexico. Yikes. 2021 as well, Tom Brady, the great deflated guy, became the first player in NFL history to start 300 regular season games as he glided Tampa Bay Buccaneers to an opening day 31-29 win at home to the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, well, all these games are fixed anyway, and yeah, he's a cheater. 2021 as well, U.S. 2021 summer was the hottest on record with average 74 degrees Fahrenheit, overtaking records set in 1936 during the Dust Bowl. Wow. Huh. Well, we are living through historical times. And then we have 2021 as well. U.S. Brandon announced widespread Kung Flu poke mandates for federal workers, contractors, and large employers affecting 100 million people. Yeah, that's just garbage. More garbage. Okay, well, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. Please go, our link tree, our various video streaming sites, social networking, our affiliates, go check it out. As I said several times, all these links will be down there after the live stream, so hang tight, and they'll be there. Anyway, for your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander, and you are you. Until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe.